1.
Bedsy and the boys has Blackhawk fans celebrating like it's 2015. We'll talk about them and a whole lot more on this week's episode of the Dump and Chase podcast presented by the Hoosier Network. I am Noah Bedoris with Noah Seuss and Jack Rizzo. Fellas, how's it feeling to be back?
I'm feeling great. I can't wait to talk about some hockey. It's been a great week of hockey. We've had a lot of action, and I'm excited to talk about it with you guys.
I can't wait to talk about the New York Rangers. It's the first time I can talk about them, and it's something positive for once.
Like opening week, we talked about Igor was like the best goalie in the league, and that's like the only positive thing we've said about the Rangers all year. Let's open up with some hot takes. We haven't done this very often on the show. I feel like we're a very, week by week accolade type program. I want to open up by looking into the future, and I want to hear our hot takes for this upcoming Cup Finals. Who are the teams that you think could be a surprise feature in these finals coming in this summer?
Listen up.
All right.
I really think this is going to be a really hot take because we're going to keep it hot. The Utah Mammoth, if they get on a roll, could be that team.
Okay.
They can sneak it. The West is weak. We've talked about it. It's top heavy. So if you just get past like the Avalanche, the Stars, the Jets, the Oilers, you could do it. The East, it's anyone's game. It's wide open. So I don't really know a hot take for the East. I could say the Senators or the Red Wings. That would be such a weird Stanley Cup final. You have Sens, Utah. I don't know who would win that.
So I'm gonna piggyback off you because I also had Utah as my hot take out of the West. But in the East, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh, I like that.
Taking it home. I think that the biggest strength of this Pens team right now is just that goalie tandem. Seeloffs and Jerry are just incredible, both with a sub-3 goals against. And so it's just this is a team that I am confident in. And it's all, when I'm looking at teams that I think could be surprising, the thing I'm looking at is being top-heavy when it comes to points. And that's exactly what the Pens are doing. Malkin and Crosby are both at 20 or more points right now. And then after that, you have a bunch of supporting cast that's going to be able to support them. There's some teams like some teams like Seattle that I was looking at that I thought maybe they could, be a surprise team, but they just don't have that guy that you can trust to be a sufficient goal scorer.
No, not at all. Really, it's Joey Daccord in Seattle and not much else. They just don't score enough. That's their problem. Maybe when Kaapo Kakko comes back from the injured reserve, maybe that'll help them. But I mean, my surprise team, and I think this has a real possibility of happening, the Anaheim Ducks. I know they're in first place right now, so you think, why are they a dark horse? Come on, did anybody at the start of the season have this team even making the playoffs, let alone being at the top of their division through the first month? And honestly, I think the success is sustainable. Let's look at Anaheim's last 7 wins. Their 7-game win streak ended on Tuesday night, but their 7 wins: Florida, Detroit, New Jersey, Florida again, Dallas, Vegas, and Winnipeg. Those are all very high-quality opponents that you went and beat. And you beat 2 of them. Only 2 of them went to extra period. They have been dominating their competition. This is a young roster. Leo Carlson's second in the league in points right now. Cutter Gauthier is right behind him. Troy Terry's got 20. Chris Kreider's been huge for that power play. This is a really fun team to watch. And with, as we said, the West being a bit weaker this year, in my opinion, I think the Ducks, with their speed, with their great coaching staff, I think this is a real possibility of happening if they can keep this up.
The Ducks really showed this week. They played we talked about it last week. They played a gauntlet of a schedule with that West Coast swing.
Yep.
And they won 3 out of 4. So they showed that they can compete with the top teams in the Western Conference. Maybe the Avalanche are a little much. They're a good hockey team.
Yeah, I agree. I think besides the Avs, they are a legitimate contender in the West. I mean, this was a conference that going into the season, we said you have, the top of the top where it's the Avs, the Stars, the Jets, the Oilers, and Vegas. It's probably those 5 teams. And then after that, it's a massive drop-off. So we'll see who can, fill in those final 3 spots. But this has been an early standing so far. But there's a lot of teams like Anaheim that are proving to be far better than we expected them to be.
Well, the thing with Anaheim is I think a reason why they could keep this up, we talk a lot about their high-flying offense, which is obviously reasonable, but you look at Lucas Dahlstall, over 900 save percentage on the year. They've got good defensemen, too. I mean, Jacob Trouba, a former New York Ranger, has a plus 16 on the year so far. That was unheard of with the Rangers. Yeah. He was always in the negative. So I don't know if it's a change of scenery. I don't know if he just found the fountain of youth again. But I haven't even mentioned guys like Mason McTavish yet because of just how good this team is. They are a fun team to watch. Joel Quenneville's done an unbelievable job. And again, in a weak West, in a very weak Pacific Division, one in which they're really the only team that's shined so far. Edmonton, the Kings, Vegas, they've all struggled a bit, but Anaheim is not at all. And that 7-game win streak against really good competition. You mentioned it, Seuss, going 3-1 over the last 4 games. 2 of those wins were by multiple goals. They're playing very, very well right now. And again, we're 16 games in, so we're about a fifth of the way through the season. I think they're going to be able to keep this up. I really do.
Yeah, I do too. And that's part of, like you were just saying about beating teams by multiple goals, is that this Ducks team isn't a team where it's like you look at the schedule and look at the results and say, well, they're just barely getting past these teams. They're second in the West in goal differential right now. They are at plus 14 as a team. And so they're plowing through teams handsomely. And that's an indicator to me that it's not just luck and it's not just playing close games, but they're actually winning significantly.
So, yeah, we look at the Central. The Central is going as we thought. We have the Avalanche, the Stars, and the Jets.
Yep.
But when you look at the Pacific, it's a lot weirder than we thought. Ducks, Kings, Oilers, Kraken, Sharks, then you hit the Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's wrong with the Golden Knights right now?
It's not goaltending. It's not Akira Smith because he's playing well. But they lost their last 3 to the Lightning, Ducks, and Panthers. I don't think it's also goal scoring.
Well, because the interesting thing is, and I'm going to go back to goal differential like I was just saying with the Ducks, is the 2 teams besides Anaheim in the Pacific that are in that playoff spot. The Kings are at -2. The Oilers are at -8. Neither one of those playoff teams are scoring more than they're giving up. The Knights still have a +3. The Knights are still playing good hockey. They just aren't winning as many games as they should be.
I'll tell you exactly why Vegas has slipped. Jack Eichel.
Yeah.
Jack Eichel had a very quiet week. Has not scored a goal in his last 6 games. Only 3 points in his last 6 games. That offense runs through Jack Eichel. And if Jack Eichel's not playing, then this team ain't winning. And unfortunately for Vegas, they just don't have any other really stars in this offense that can carry them through while Jack Eichel continues to slip.
So let's move in to our player of the week. Speaking of Jack Eichel, because this has been a guy that is consistently in our player of the week, but he will be definitely missing from this week's edition. Seuss, let me start with you. Who's your player of the week?
You started the show off by saying Betsy and the boys. I got to continue talking about Betsy. Kid's been unreal. Him and Macklin have been arguably the best 2 players in the NHL. Betsy had a great week, 3 goals, 5 apples, 8 points. It was just awesome. The Blackhawks are rolling, and he is the main reason, the focal point of this franchise. He's projected for 125 points right now. This kid's crazy.
Yeah, definitely living up to the expectations. I'll talk about Chicago more when we get to team of the week, because this is a team that I am very high on right now. I think they're playing excellent hockey. I don't know if it's going to stick around, but right now they're playing great puck. Jack, who is your player of this week? Or add on to Connor Bedard?
Well, obviously Connor Bedard's great, but for my player of the week, we don't usually go with goaltenders on this show, but I'm going to go with one. I'm going to go with Darcy Kemper of the LA Kings. Had an incredible week for them. Very quiet, very unnoticed, and that's kind of just how most goaltenders are. If your name's not Igor Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevsky, you're just not going to get that much attention. But Darcy Kemper in his last 3 games, the 4th, November 4th against Winnipeg. Now, we did our show after that, but that game stopped all 23 shots against a really high-flying Jets offense. Then this past Sunday against Pittsburgh, stopped 31 of 33 shots. That was a big road win for the Kings on the road in Pittsburgh. And then they got another big road win Tuesday night against Montreal 5-1. Stopped 21 of 22 shots. Darcy Kemper is finally looking like the player he was in that 2022 Stanley Cup run for the Colorado Avalanche. And he's the reason that Vegas has climbed back into the playoff hunt. And he is the reason why the Kings have won their last 3 and the reason why they're back in the Pacific Division, at the top of the Pacific Division.
Yeah, the Kings are a team that at one point we were discounting and saying that this is a team that's going to, clean house, fire sale at the deadline. You got to restart. It's just not happening anymore, but they have proved us wrong, and they're already at 20 points in second place in the Pacific.
My whole thing is with the Kings, if Kemper is playing at the level we know he can play at, like he did in Colorado, they are going to be a top team in the Pacific and a good team in that playoff hunt. They're just going to keep it rolling if Kemper keeps this up.
My only beef with the Kings right now is that they are still very much in the loser column at home. They're 1-4-2 at home, and they're also 1-3 in shootouts. And so just small things that you have to, flip the script on and fix that narrative where if you're a team like the Rangers that can't win at home, that's hard way to win in a season if you aren't good in your own rink.
Well, to be fair, that's always been the thing with the Kings. The Kings have always been these road warriors. Yeah. I mean, you look at most of their big wins in the last 15 years have come on the road. 2012, they became the first 8 seed to ever win the Stanley Cup, which meant a majority of their games came on the road. Game 7, 2014 Western Conference Finals against the Chicago Blackhawks. Go on the road, you beat Chicago in overtime. The Kings are just a team that plays better on the road. I don't really know how I can explain that, but I think their style of hockey could travel anywhere, and I think that's the reason why they're a better road team than they are a home team.
I agree, but I would say I'm more concerned about the shootout. Going 1-3 so far, and being the only team with playing in 4 shootouts is also something a little bit concerning. You're getting that loser point, but going 1-3 is alarm. But going back to Darcy Kuemper and just can he flip that switch? And he has proven to this week be able to be a better shootout goalie.
I really think he could. I feel like it's just all practice. Like, okay, I'm gonna bring up the Islanders for a second here. I saw Ilya Sorokin's not a great shootout goalie. I saw him working with Patrick Waugh in practice the other day. I'm just trying to prepare for it. I think it's all preparation, just getting locked in that mode. I think Darcy Kuemper definitely could be a better shootout goalie. I'm not the biggest fan of the shootout in general. I said that last episode. I think they should just move to 3-on-3.
Most fans are not a fan of the shootout. It's like the commissioner's runner in baseball, where it's like it's a way to speed up games and get the game over with, so you don't have to play 3 extra hours, 5 overtimes that we had in a postseason game a few years ago. But I definitely agree. I think that Darcy Kuemper's play recently has proven himself to be that goalie that they expect, and hopefully we see better results in that overtime and shootout period. My player of the week is Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche. 12 points in the past week, and through those 3 games that he played, excellent numbers in all 3. It's kind of rare to see. I would say usually my player of the week is a guy that has 2 really solid games and then a normal game. Saturday at Edmonton, he goes 2 goals, 2 assists. Sunday at Vancouver, 2 goals, 3 assists. And then just 2 nights ago at home against Anaheim, no goals, but 3 assists in that game. And he is currently leading the league in points, in goals, assists, and plus minus, and he is by far the Hart favorite right now.
If you score 14 goals in 17 games, that's insane.
Yeah.
He's on an insane pace. And if he keeps this up, the sky is the limit for Colorado. The only problem that I may see is goaltending consistency down the line. Wedgwood's been good. Will he keep this up? I don't know. But if he could, the Avalanche are going to be a major threat in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I would say the Avs, in my opinion, are the premier team in the league. Speaking from a completely, journalistic and analytical perspective, the Avs are going to win the Cup this year if they keep this up. I don't see a whole lot of teams competing with them. The goaltending is an issue, but I think it's something that you get sorted out once you have all of your goalies healthy. But yeah, Nathan MacKinnon is just the way that we talked about Jack Eichel in the first few weeks is how I'm feeling about Nathan MacKinnon now.
Exactly, and they're very comparable players because, like Jack Eichel, Nathan MacKinnon's a 200-foot player. He does everything for this Colorado Avalanche team. I think the most impressive thing about Nathan MacKinnon is how good he makes his line mates look. I mean, Marty Necas just got a huge extension. Look, that looks like the perfect trade for Colorado, getting a kind of similar caliber player to Mikko Rantanen on a more team-friendly deal. And I feel like Nathan MacKinnon's a huge reason for that. He just makes his line mates better. And, he's obviously lethal on the power play. When you watch him skate, you could tell when Nathan MacKinnon's on the ice. He just has that extra gear to his game, and he is so much fun to watch. And obviously, he's already won the Hart Trophy once, but this is shaping up to be a historic season for Nathan MacKinnon if he keeps his pace up.
Yeah, the Avs are just so good. Just looking down the roster right now, Lehkonen is 4th in points. You know how many he has? 17. And then after that, you go 20 points for Martin Necas. Kel McCarr's got 23. 32 for Nathan MacKinnon. It's a you don't even want to say top heavy because it's just the top is just so far above everybody else, but everybody else is still producing.
And they got so much depth. That defensive pairing of Taves and McCarr is so good. And then
Best
you
in
have
the league.
Burns and Mason and Girardi and Melissa. I don't even know how to say that name. Sam. I don't even know. Just calling him Big Sam for now.
Malinsky?
Malinsky, thank you. I don't know why. That name just made me suffer. But it's such a good team. It's so much depth, so sound, and I feel like we haven't even seen players like Brock Nelson step up yet, Ross Colton step up yet, Jack Jury step up yet. There's still so many guys that I'm waiting for to step on on this Avalanche team, and they're in first place.
Mhm.
This is the best team in the league.
And I think Scott
by far.
Wedgwood is an excellent goalie.
I think so too.
Like I am a firm believer. There was a point where we were talking about him being trade bait for some teams. I think he's so good that he is this day in, day out goalie for Colorado.
So would Mackenzie Black would then be on the trade block?
Oh,
then?
absolutely. If teams want him, he's honestly not performing at a way that I would want him.
Well, is he back? Is he back yet?
Not yet, but I'm saying statistically, he started off slow and he's injury prone right now. I don't think he's back yet. He was week to week last time I checked. But again, it's one of those situations where we don't even know if he's back yet because Wedgwood's playing so good that he's playing every night.
He is not. Oh no, he started 2 games.
Okay.
2 games, yeah, 875 save percentage.
Yeah.
It's probably take some time for him to get
Yeah,
fully
well,
healthy.
okay, because he started the year out.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah.
Okay.
He was their starter the last postseason.
Right,
but if
right.
Wedgwood's going to play like this, then you can't really take away the starting job from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wedgwood's playing at a Vezina caliber level right now. And there's no reason to take him out if he continues this.
Yep.
And you know they're going to be aggressive at the trade deadline. They're a very aggressive team. So they might get better at the trade deadline, which is terrifying to think about for the rest of the league.
Scott Wedgwood has 1 loss this year. So.
Wow.
All right. Did we make it through Player of the Week? Is that all of us?
I think
Yes.
so.
Well, perfect. I'm going to go to Team of the Week, and I'm going to start because we've already talked about this team and the star, and that is the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, this is a team that didn't have an excellent week on paper. They went 2-1, but the way that they won these games and the way that they lost their one game stood out to me. You had a 4-0 win at Calgary, a 5-1 win at Detroit, and then losing in overtime to a very good Devils team. They've gotten 5 points in just those 3 games, and they're outscoring their opponents 12-5. Spencer Knight is excellent. He's a top 10 goalie in the league right now, and the Blackhawks are a team that I don't think gets over the playoff hump this year, but are definitely going to scare a lot of teams in the West.
The whole thing with the Blackhawks this year is that they're showing so much improvement.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving your fans hope that maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but 2 to 3 years down the line, they're going to be a serious contender in this Western Conference.
Well, so many teams are like that this year, where Chicago's playing like that, and Anaheim is playing like that, and the Sharks are playing like that, or even Utah, where it's like teams that we weren't necessarily expecting to be fully rebuilt yet, but are playing way above their potential.
Yeah, for sure. And keep in mind that this week for the Blackhawks, this is all in the fact, despite that Frank Nazar did not score he has not scored a single point in his last 6 games.
Yeah.
That's honestly mind-blowing that they have kept this pace up despite the fact that Frank Nazar has done nothing. And think about when he breaks out of this stretch. Oh my goodness, the Blackhawks could be a team that surprises a lot of people. Now, I agree with you. I don't think they're a playoff team this year. I actually think that's going to help them because I think they might slip down the standings a bit over the next 2 or 3 months or so. They've got some good veteran players in this top 6 that could be trade deadline pieces for them to get even some more younger players that help finish out this rebuild. Guys like Tyler Bertuzzi, Teuvo Teravainen, these could be guys that could be dealt to the deadline for a pretty good package and help the Blackhawks get younger. And with the way Connor Bedard's playing, I mean, this guy I think he's officially in superstar status now in the league with the way he's been playing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. When ESPN doesn't know any other hockey players, so they just stick Connor Bedard on every promo. I think he's reached that level.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what the Florida Panthers' biggest mistake was of all time.
Okay.
Trading Spencer Knight away. He's going to be franchise goaltender for the Blackhawks. I'm not saying he's the next Corey Crawford or anything, but he's going to be phenomenal. And the Panthers are stuck with old Sergei Bobrovsky right now, and you see where they are in the standings. If they had a goaltender like Spencer Knight, they would be a top 3 team in the Atlantic Division.
This is a complete side note, but every time I think of Corey Crawford, I think of the clip of the Predators fans going, "Crawford, you suck."
Funny side note.
That was before I was even into hockey, I knew that clip.
Back when Nashville was good.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think the last thing I'll say about the Hawks is that I think that they have potential to kind of cushion themselves in the West wildcard right now, just looking at their schedule for the rest of the month, because they have Toronto this weekend, who has been not playing at the level that we expect them to, and then Calgary, who is the worst team on the planet, Seattle, who is playing solid hockey, but nothing that I think should scare Chicago, especially playing in the United Center, and then Buffalo. Those are your next 4 games. All very winnable. And then you're going to play a little bit tougher competition. You have Colorado in a couple weeks. You have Anaheim, but then you also get Nashville. Like, there's a lot of games that if the Hawks are the team that we think they are, they're going to, gain that cup prospect right now.
I really think they could too. They could be this team that could show us we are here and we're not just going to be an easy win going forward.
Yeah, totally agree. This is a new Blackhawks team. This has been a very long and painful rebuild for them. So even the fact that they're
going
competitive,
on about 10 years.
What'd you say?
Going on around 10 years.
Yeah, right around there. And just the fact that I think they're competitive is enough for their fans. And as we've talked about, 2 to 3 years down the road, this team is going to be dangerous in the Western Conference.
It's exactly what the NHL wanted when they rigged the draft lottery to send Bedard to Chicago.
Yeah,
So,
it's exactly.
Imagine him on Anaheim right now, though.
That's an excellent point. Or Utah. He could have been an Arizona Mammoth.
Anaheim, they would have been the Cup favorites probably.
Yeah. Jack, who is your team of the week? I know you're excited to talk about this one.
It's finally time to talk about the New York Rangers in a positive way. This team is finally starting to turn a corner. It was such a bad start to the season. I mean, they lost their first 6 games at home. I don't even know how you do that. Or I'm sorry, your first 7 games at home. Made a mistake. They were that bad. They finally won their first home game. That's enough to make them team of the week, in my opinion. But you've won. They have won 6 of their last 8. And the funny thing is, Igor Shesterkin hasn't even been playing that well over the last couple of weeks. The offense, though, they have just clicked. I mean, 7 goals last night against Tampa Bay. 6 goals the game before against Nashville. The last 2 games, Hoosier Saros got pulled in the Nashville game, and Andrei Vasilevsky got pulled in the Tampa Bay game. I mean, the fact that the Rangers' offense has clicked so much that top-tier goaltenders are getting pulled for the game ends, I think that's enough to make you team of the week. Artemi Panarin, he's back. Bald Narin is back. He shaved his head, and look at the way he's played. 18 points now, or 16 points on the season. Alexi Lafreniere, who I've clowned on a lot on this show, he's got 10 points in his last 10 games. Again, this offense is just clicking. It's so big that they have Vincent Trocheck back now because he is really the catalyst for this offense. He scored 2 goals last night against Tampa Bay. Mika Zibanejad's playing well, and Igor Shesterkin's been fine. He's not the reason though. They've really turned a corner. And Jonathan Quick is probably the best backup goaltender in hockey. He's a .950 save percentage through 4 games. Still got it as he approaches 40 years old, but. It is great to see this Rangers team play this well. This is the best they've looked since the President's Trophy year. They did not look this good all of last year at any point. So the fact they're playing this good is great. Now, are they going to be able to keep it up? I'm not exactly sure. I think the offense they need to establish this consistency. They can't be so inconsistent because in this week, where they're team of the week, they still did get shut out 5-0 against the Islanders, Seuss, to your credit. So they have to keep being consistent. But I think with Trocheck back, I think that's the real key here in this one is there is such a difference when he is on the ice compared to when he's not on the ice for the Rangers.
Yeah, that was the thing that we talked about a few weeks ago about the Rangers is that most of the offense was Lafreniere and Zibanejad were shooting more than they should have been and not scoring the puck, and nobody else was doing jack. Now when you're looking at this team, Panarin has 16, like you were saying. Adam Fox has 15 points. Even JT Miller's got 9 points right now. It's a team that the guys that were underperforming are now starting to catch fire. And you're seeing positive outcomes because of it. And so it's a team that's built to play together. And when all of these guys, there's no specific player on this Rangers team that is shining above the rest and like being that Bedard or McKinnon that is just far ahead of everybody else, but they're having everybody play parity hockey.
The key thing for the Rangers was getting Vincent Trocheck back, like Jack said. You get your top line center back, and he's just been so good. 5 points, 4 games. Mm-hmm. It's just what the Rangers needed. They needed a little fire. I've watched a lot of Rangers hockey this year. They've had a lot of chances, and they just couldn't finish. And now they're finally getting that finishing touch and putting the puck in the net.
Yeah, I think with Trocheck that I love to see is that, like you said, 5 points in 4 games, and out of those 5 points, it's 3 assists and 4 goals. So he's doing a little bit of everything, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned it, Seuss. That's the real key is that they play together, this whole team. When one guy's playing good, the whole team plays good. And when one guy's not playing good, they don't play good. I think the biggest key for the Rangers is that top defensive pair of Adam Fox and Vladislav Gavrikov, because Gavrikov leads the team in plus-minus with 6. The Rangers are way more physical than they've been in previous years. They're forechecking better, and that's really helping them win these games. And also, I think the youth movement, too, has helped this team a lot. You've got Alexi Lafreniere, Will Cooley now in the top 6. Noah Laba's been great on the third line. He's got 6 points, plus or minus 4. He's been hot lately. And again, the Rangers are just finding ways to win games. And again, with that goaltending duo, you could win any game, and you're gonna score the way you are. The Rangers are a team to watch out for in the Metropolitan Division if they could keep this up because they are very inconsistent. So we'll have to see what happens.
Total side question: what are the odds that all of the original 6 make the playoffs this year?
Let me take a look.
I'm just looking
here.
at it, and it's looking pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Boston's a playoff team.
The Wings could be
The
questionable.
Habs are a playoff team.
The Wings
They're
are questionable. The
Wings
Rangers
could
are
be
questionable
questionable.
too.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, all 6 of these teams are fathomable playoff teams.
I will say I'm not fully sold on Boston yet, but if they play,
We'll talk about that in a
Yeah.
second.
My team of the week.
I was gonna say, this is the most bipolar team ever, that they have been team of the week and not team of the week, I think,
back
twice.
team
Yeah,
of the
multiple
weeks
times.
for me. The Boston Bruins coming off 7 straight victories, backed off of goaltending duo Swayman and Korpisalo. Just incredible efforts. You beat the Leafs in a home and home, which is just incredible. The Leafs going into your cup favorites. Ottawa 3-2 in overtime. This team is just on a total heater, and it's because of this goaltending duo, in my opinion. They are probably one of the best goaltending duos in all of the National Hockey League, and they prove every week why so far. Will they keep this up? They play Ottawa again, Montreal, Carolina, Anaheim. That's a very tough schedule coming up. I don't really know. I think if a split would be great here. I don't know if Boston keeps this up.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Boston: they won their first 3, then they lost 7 of their next 8, and then they've won 7 in a row. I don't even know what to say about this team because they're so inconsistent. I will say, Pasta is still doing his thing. He's got 22 points in 18 games. Yeah, he'll always have it. He is so gifted offensively that he's always going to be the catalyst for this Bruins offense. Morgan Geekie also averaging about a point per game. You know, but when you look deeper into it, it doesn't really make sense why the Bruins are playing this well. I mean, Jeremy Swayman and Korpisalo have been great, but I mean, Swayman's save percentage is 900, Korpisalo is 885. I guess that I think just Pasta's been so good that they've just been able to steal games, and it kind of just depends. They're like the Rangers, where kind of like they just play as a team. Where if the whole team is playing well, then it's great, and if they're not, then they're one of the worst teams in the league. I don't know if I will say I don't think they're going to keep this up. I don't think there's enough firepower in this offense. I think it's Pasta and it's not really anybody else. And they're going to need some more depth. I think some more scoring depth because outside the top 4 scorers, Pastrak's got 22, Morgan Geekie is 16, Pavel Zacha is 15, Charlie McAvoy is 14. No goals, 14 assists, by the way. After that, though, you go all the way down to 9 with Mason Lowry. So I just don't think there's enough depth here for Boston. I don't really know what we're going to get from Jeremy Swayman. We never know what we're going to get from Jeremy Swayman. And I think with how good the Atlantic division is, I think it's going to be really tough for Boston to keep this up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say about the whole East right now. Is it's so tight, and you don't even realize it unless you're like looking very intentionally. Where the Bruins are obviously a great team right now, playing on a heater, but by this time next week they could be bottom 3 in the East. It is so possible just because of how close all these teams are. Toronto is the 2nd worst team in the conference, and they have 17 points. And that is literally a 3-game difference from Boston.
It's crazy. The East is so wide open. It's anyone's game right now. I can't tell you who's going to make the wild card. I can't tell you if the Senators are going to make the playoffs or not because it's so like wide open. Anyone, any given week can win 3 games and be right back in that wild card spot and the spot in their division.
It's a very, very streaky year for everybody.
Both first place teams last year from the Eastern Conference are in 7th place in their own division right now.
It's crazy.
It just shows the parity in this conference. We also have, again, Florida's in 6th place. They are the defending back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. It just doesn't really make sense the way the East is this year, but it's going to be fun to watch the rest of the season, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, speaking of underperforming teams, Jack and I, we both have some of those teams as our not team of the week. Jack, let me start with you. Talk about Vegas a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of alluded to it before. It's all about Jack Eichel. The fact that he just has not produced over the last 6 games. Only 3 points in the last 6 for Jack Eichel. And Vegas has struggled as a result. I mean, they're 7-4-4 now. This is a team that started 5-0-2. They were top 5 in my power rankings basically every single week. I slipped them to like 10 in this one, which is honestly maybe still generous because I think this team will be able to turn it around no problem. I just think they're in a bit of a cold stretch right now. I think the goaltending's been a concern. Aiden Hill really hasn't played that well, and that's not something you want. Aiden Hill was huge for them in that 2023 Stanley Cup run. But again, the offense runs through Jack Eichel, and with the way he's played as the last couple of weeks, it just hasn't been good enough. You've also faced a lot of really hot teams. Tampa Bay's been really good lately, so they kind of ran into them. They took Anaheim to overtime but ended up losing, and then lost 3-2 to Florida. So their last 2 losses are both 1-goal losses. So as I said, I think Vegas will be able to turn this around. it's not really that Vegas is really my not team of the week. It's more so that Jack Eichel is my not player of the week, just with the way he played. Because considering the way he had played the first couple weeks, it's disappointing to see him not really playing up to his potential these last couple of games.
And it hasn't been Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner's still producing well.
And look at what's happened to Toronto since he left.
Toronto's falling apart too.
Toronto is my not team of the week.
We're just throwing
We're
out.
just leading into each
I
other's
know.
takes.
We have chemistry today. I'm going to go ahead and take Toronto right now. I want to talk about them. Toronto is a team that on paper is playing fine. It's so strange to me. They're playing decent hockey. Offensively, they're doing okay. Austin Matthews, I'd like to see some more booming games is what I would describe it. Like he hasn't had any games so far this year where it's 3 goals, 2 assists, or 1 goal, 4 assists. He's not playing at that caliber. But the East is so close this year, like we're already saying, that the Leafs need to rattle off a few in a row if they want to stay relevant. But the biggest issue right now is just the goaltending. Anthony Stolarz has not had a good game this year. I'm going to go down his game log this year. 3 goals allowed, 4 goals allowed, 3 goals allowed, 3 goals allowed, 2 goals allowed. Go down a little more. There's a 5 goal allowed, a lot of 4s. He has not had a shutout this year, and he's only had 1 game that he's allowed 1 goal. He has not had a good game this year.
And he just got an extension, too, which makes it look even worse on him and the team, really.
Yep.
So at the beginning of this season, I said, okay, the Leafs really need depth. So getting rid of Mitch.
884 save percentage for Anthony Stolarz. Are you kidding me? That is the starting goalie for a team that's supposed to be a cup contender.
They ran Mitch out of town so quickly.
Yeah.
Why are they not running Anthony Stolarz out of town? I don't know. But before the year, like I was saying, they ran Mitch Marner out of town. Okay, that's fine. You're going to get depth pieces. It's going to be good. It's going to be fine. More depth is good. But the problem is you lost Austin Matthews. 14 points in 17 games? That's not Austin Matthews.
And he's hurt now, I believe. I think he just got hurt.
It's just this team is falling apart. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Matthew Knives. He's been absolutely incredible. John Tavares is still keeping up his pace, and so is William Nylander. The problem is now Austin Matthews is hurt. Where do they go from here? I don't know. I have zero clue where the Leafs go from here.
The Leafs are a team that looking down the roster, have confidence that they can still compete. It's just a matter of stringing together wins. That's been their issue, is they are so consistently inconsistent. Every player on this team, every goaltender, even the win-loss, they can't get 2 good things consecutively.
Let's go through it since you say that. Win on opening night, lost 2 in a row, won 2 in a row, lost 3 in a row, won 2 in a row, lost once, won 3 in a row. Now they've lost 3 in a row. There's no consistency here. Absolutely none. I think this team can still compete, and we agree on that. Again,
but I think it starts with the goaltending.
It absolutely starts with the goaltending.
Yes.
Every year, the conversation with the Leafs is, how are they going to improve goaltending-wise? And they don't.
They don't.
They just don't. You don't need more offense. You don't need more defense. You need goaltending. When's the message going to hit?
There were recent years where there was a possibility for a Leafs-Oilers Cup final. And I can promise you, if that happened, you would have had 6 to 5 games every single night in the Stanley Cup Finals, because neither one of those teams can nail down a solid goaltender.
And it's equally as frustrating for both teams, considering that you got 2 of the best players on the world leading both
so
teams.
Good offensively. Your
So much
skaters are
talent,
so talented, but you can't stop Pittsburgh from scoring 4 goals, or actually no, that's a game that they won. Or you can't stop Boston from getting 5 goals twice in 1 week against you.
5
Buffalo
goals.
scored 5 goals against them.
They allowed 5 goals the last 3 games.
Yep.
Goodness
They allowed
gracious.
6 goals to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I don't even know. Like,
Even the games that they do win, a 7-4 win to the Nashville Predators. You're giving up 4 goals to the Preds, and you have to score 7 just to beat them.
That's here. The only way I think they can break the Austin Matthews breakout's coming.
Yeah.
We know it's he's might not play this upcoming week. Craig Berube said that last night, but there's gonna be a week where it's gonna be 3 or 4 games, and he's gonna have like 7 goals, and I think that's really what's gonna get them out of this slump, because we cannot trust the goaltending to do it. I mean, do they go and get one at the deadline? I think it's gonna be hard to, because you just paid Anthony Stolarz. You almost have to just ride with him and count on him to eventually break out of this slump. But if he's not going to do that, sure, this team can make the playoffs, but they're not going far in the playoffs if they can't keep pucks out of their net.
I think an absolute option for the Leafs right now is fire Craig Berube. I don't value him as a coach necessarily. I think he is a one-hit wonder.
Well, you could speak from experience on that one.
I can. I think he became a household name to general managers in the NHL because of the Blues run in 2019. But since then, he has not shown to be that caliber of a NHL head coach. And keep in mind, he was only the Blues head coach in 2019 because he was the interim. Like, there is nothing about Craig Berube that makes me think this is the guy that you want if you have such a talented roster like Toronto.
I'm going to say one thing. Anthony Stolarz is hurt too now. Who's going to be their goaltender?
Well, that might actually not be a bad thing. They might need to get someone new in there, and it might help them turn around. I hope he gets healthy. But
we have a segment planned on the show talking about goalie trades at the deadline coming up, but there's a lot of teams that might need to make those moves before the deadline even happens, like Toronto.
Well, Dennis Hildeby has in 3 games has a .909 save percentage. Why not give him some more looks if Anthony Stolarz is going to miss time? Or even if he's not going to miss time, just give him some more looks. You can't try Anthony Stolarz out there. You can't try Caden Premu out there either. He's even worse.
Yep.
I don't even know where this team goes with goaltending.
The thing about Toronto, though, is that they're treading water, and it's just a matter of time before they sink because you are so out of the playoff picture, yet so close to getting yourself back in. And so you can't, mess around trying out new things because you might mess around and have 2 bad weeks in a row, and then all of a sudden you were 2 points out of a wild card spot, and now you're 12.
Yeah, it's every year. This discussion happens every time. They are always in the hunt for a goaltender, and they can never just find their guy. And if they do, it's a first-round exit or second-round exit.
It's incredible how, with all of the people in the world, from the U.S., Canada, and Russia, or wherever, you can't find 30 guys that are good at goaltending. Every single year, we're looking for more guys that can be solid goaltenders.
And this is an original 6 team. It doesn't like people don't want to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Everyone wants to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Especially with the percentage of Canadian players in this league. Who doesn't want to play in Toronto and be a Maple Leaf if you're a goaltender?
13-time Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah. It's a huge market and
huge budget.
Huge budget, huge market, and it's such a good team. The offense is so talented, but they just can't find that goaltender.
Not to mention they sell out every home game too. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to understand why and it happens every single year. It's like it's a 1-year thing. This is every year with the Maple Leafs. And I didn't say Blue Jays this time. I'm progressing. I did not say Blue Jays this time.
Let's take a breath and move on to Seuss's not team of the week. Because this is a team that at one point was my team of the week. And in this competitive Eastern Conference,
my not team of the week, another original 6 team, the Detroit Red Wings. This team, all right, 1-0 loss to Vegas on Tuesday. Okay, it's fine. Vegas is really good. They didn't really score a lot. Struggling week. Then they lose a 4-1 game to the Rangers at home. The Rangers struggle to score at home. It's the whole thing. And then the Blackhawks score 5 goals. Talbot and Gibson, I don't think are really that good. It's just like a mediocre goalie combo.
Another story where this team needs to find better goaltending.
Dylan Larkin, we were talking so highly
on
Dylan Larkin, and he has just struggled to find his game again. He's had 1 point in the last 3 games. 1 point. This is just unacceptable. DeBrincat too. It's just going down the list. He didn't score in these 3 games. No goals. It's just the top guys aren't producing. And then when you have this bad of a goalie combo where they're allowing 4 or 5 goals a game, you're not going to win anything.
I think this was a week in the Eastern Conference that really sorted out the actual competitors from the pretenders. Where at one point on the show we said the Wings are a playoff team at the moment. Can they keep this up? And we said maybe. Some of us said no. I think the Wings have solidified themselves as a not playoff team. I think out of these teams that are currently out of the picture, the Lightning are still solid. The Caps are solid, especially with their goaltending. The Panthers and the Leafs. Those are the only 4 that I believe will maintain relevance.
I totally agree. The big thing with the Red Wings is that outside of Dylan Larkin, Alex DeBrincat, Lucas Raymond have all been great. Other than that, there is nobody else on this offense who produces. No. Those 3, Raymond's got 13, DeBrincat 15, Larkin 19. Nobody else has more than 8, and you're not going to win games that way. Their power play has sunken drastically. They were top 5 in the league last year. They're middle of the pack this year. I'll give credit to their penalty killing. Their penalty killing is much to improve, but as Stu said, their goaltending is not cutting it. Gibson and Talbot have both been awful. They both have save percentages under 900. They could be another team. They're like the Maple Leafs, original 6 team. How can you not find a good goaltending? Detroit is such a popular hockey market. They were the best team in the league for about a 30-year stretch, and now they've just sunk into kind of being stuck in the middle of the standings, and the goaltending is the main reason for that. And obviously, when Larkin and DeBrincat are going to be cold, that's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form.
So my main question is right now, if the Red Wings continue on this fall off that they're already having, are they buyers or sellers at this trade deadline?
I think they're sellers.
I agree. But who would they sell?
I think Dylan Larkin is still worth buying.
Patrick Kane?
I wonder what Dylan Larkin's contract is.
I think we could see some
Keep talking,
Patrick
I'll look it
Kane
up.
on the market. I think
I like the Patrick Kane though one too, because if you get him in a winning environment, that's gonna be that'll be a massive addition for
Send
whoever
him to
gets
Chicago.
him. Yeah, or to Florida, because Florida does that every year with these veteran players.
JT
So
Compher. I could
Dylan Larkin
see.
is still on contract through 2031.
Ooh,
That's
Wow.
going to be a hard sell.
That's a hard
That's
contract
a
to trade.
hard sell.
I don't think I would trade Dylan Larkin.
It's also your franchise guy.
I
you
know.
True.
But who else do you want? Who else do you want to trade?
Andrew Kopp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, former Ranger. Love Andrew Kopp.
It's just these middle depth players.
There are so many former Rangers on the Red Wings. It's crazy how many former Rangers end up there. But the other thing, too, I think it's time to fire Steve Yzerman. The Yzerman plan is not working. It has not worked. I think it's time to move on. He is an absolute legend in the city of Detroit. One of the best Detroit Red Wings of all time. But there's a difference between playing and managing a team. And the Red Wings have just not progressed under his leadership. I think it's time to move on and probably fire him.
So we talk a lot about goalies and teams that lack them on this show. We're doing a new segment on this week's episode, and I want to talk about goalie trade predictions. Who's a guy that could be on the trade block, and where do you think he could go? Stacey, we'll start with you.
So my whole thing is Vegas has 3 goalies. They have Aiden Hill, Akira Smith, and Carter Hart. If I'm Vegas, I am shopping Akira Smith. I know he's young, but the value there is incredible. You can get a load of picks if you want, or you can get somebody else that's really good. I would give Carter Hart a chance. From what I've seen Carter Hart play, I know 2020 is a long time ago, but he was really good in 2020. He was such a good goalie for the Flyers in those playoffs. And I think Aiden Hill is also going to have a really big turnaround in this kind of second half of the first half.
I think I trust Aiden Hill the best out of those 3.
I do too. Aiden Hill's a very solid Vezina caliber goalie.
Jack, what about you?
I'm going to go with an all-Canada trade here. I'm going to say Thatcher Demko goes from Vancouver to Ottawa, so crossing from Western Canada to Eastern Canada. I think Vancouver just needs to sell. They're a bit of an old team. They need to get younger. They need to dump some cap. Thatcher Demko has 3 years left on his deal after this year, getting paid $8.5 million each of those 3 years. 29 years old. He's not really a part of your future plans. And Ottawa desperately needs a goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
Their goaltender, it's honestly amazing how well they've played the last couple
Linus
weeks.
Lomark is so bad.
And Levi Marilainen is not any better.
He's not.
So if you get a guy like Thatcher Demko, keep in mind, Brady Tkachuk's not back yet, and they're playing well. So if you get Brady Tkachuk back and you get a goalie like Thatcher Demko, this could be a Stanley Cup contender in the Eastern Conference, at least an Eastern Conference contender, maybe a Stanley Cup contender, because the style of hockey that the Senators play is a really fun one. It's one that can help you win. And I think if you get, it doesn't have to be Thatcher Demko, but that's who I'm projecting. You get a starting caliber goaltender, this Ottawa team is extremely dangerous.
My hypothetical trade is between 2 teams that we don't talk about very much, and that is Dan Vladar of the Philadelphia Flyers going to Minnesota. I like Vladar a lot. He is a top 10 goalie right now, I believe. He is 3rd in the league in goals against. He is 6th in save percentage. And Minnesota's a team that put a lot of eggs in one basket when extending Kirill Kaprizov over the offseason. But Philip Gustafsson has not played solid goaltending. And this is a team that I think can still compete. The Wild are only, you would say, a game out of a playoff spot. Chicago's at 20 points. They're at 18. I think that Minnesota's going to try to compete at this deadline, and I think that the Flyers are going to be a team that falls off drastically. Right now, they are a wild card team, but with the way that the East is looking right now, and Vladar, next year is a contract year for him, and so I firmly believe he is going to be an option for teams to look into.
Yeah, the Flyers have been really. We haven't talked a lot about the Flyers on this show, but they have been really just mid.
Yeah.
Trevor Zegras been a godsend for them. 16 points, 16 games played. Trades worked out for both teams really, really well. Like you said, I don't think the Flyers keep any of this up at all. This team is not good on paper. It's not good on the ice. I think they're just a lower team in the Metropolitan.
So let's before we wrap it up, talk about what game we are most excited to watch in the next week. Jack, you go first. Let's go Sue's first.
All right, let's go with the hottest teams in the NHL to date. Bruins at Ducks. Who's gonna be the hottest team? In my opinion, I think the Ducks are gonna win this game. I love watching the Ducks, man. When the Islanders aren't on, everyone knows I'm a big Isles guy. When the Islanders are not on, I sit down actively and just wait for the Ducks to play.
I thought you were going to say Boston because you love Boston for no reason.
I love Boston and the Ducks. Why do I like those two teams? I don't know. The Ducks are just fun.
We have a lot of ties to the city of Boston.
You do.
Maybe that's why.
Well, I guess, BU. I forgot about that. It's kind of interesting. Yours is Boston versus the Ducks. I have a Ducks game, and Jack has a Boston game. I'll go first. Utah at Anaheim on Monday night. I am looking forward to. This is a matchup that could very well be a playoff series coming up this spring. I love both these teams. They're both very hot, both very fun, both very new. Like I love the branding. It's two very fresh looks. I think it's going to be just a fun game to watch. It's a game that if there's somebody I know that doesn't watch hockey, I'm like, try this out. Pick one of those two teams. Jack?
I'm going to go complete opposite of what you said about the new.
Yeah.
I'm going with the classic, probably the greatest rivalry in the history of the National Hockey League. We have an original six matchup on Saturday night. It's hockey night in Canada. We got the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. Is there a better rivalry in hockey than this one?
I'll be honest. I say Utah and Anaheim is what I'm looking forward to, but I think I would rather watch Boston Montreal.
Yeah, it's one of those things. These two teams hate each other more than just about any two teams in any sport do. And also, these are the two best teams in the Atlantic Division this year so far, so that makes it even better. This is a game that I will probably watch. If it's after the IU game, I'll probably have this on. To be honest,
if you had to describe, if you were to name a sandwich after the Boston Montreal game, you would call it
the classic, the number 4 at the Forest Dining Hall. If you know, just a classic.
All right, final thoughts before we wrap up. Make it quick.
Shout out to New York Islanders, 2 out of 3 this week, 5-0 win, 3-2 win in Jersey. One complaint I have.
Nope.
Why are there more?
Jack, final thoughts. We're out of time.
Go Rangers.
All right, that'll do it for us for this week's installation of.
Oh, R.I.P. Larry Brooks. I forgot to say that.
Thank you.
Legend in the media industry of hockey.
That'll do it for us from the Dump and Chase podcast presented by the Hoosier Network. I have been Noah Badoris with Jack Rizzo and Noah Seuss. We'll see you next week.